Hello,
Hey
everybody.
guys. Hey.
Hey, Mags.
Maggie. Inside
Glad to
voice.
see everybody here tonight.
I'm not here yet.
My 9 alerts at the time can't keep up. I hope everybody's doing good. You're not online yet?
I can't get over there.
What is your problem?
Well, I don't know.
Um, Everybody, give me a thumbs up out there if you y'all are hearing me okay and everything. If you give me a thumbs up, that would be awesome. We are no longer losing people, believe it or not. We were losing about 20 or 30 a month, but we're actually gaining some. Yes. Uh,
Woohoo!
yeah, we're actually gaining some. Low BC. Um, One thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll bring it, I might need to wait till a lot more people are here, but me and Tony are going to be on next week, next Thursday. We were going to do it today, but as you get a new channel, we changed our name and all kinds of other stuff to it. Jefferson City, Missouri. Hello. Um, when you have a new channel, they make you wait 24 hours once you put it up. So between StreamYards. So but next week on Thursday night, we're gonna be on after we're on here. We'll be on it about 8:05. And let me show you what the name of the channel is and everything.
Maggie, stop.
Um, our dogs
I
and
swear.
stuff, they go nuts when we get online and start talking. It's going to be Thomas and Tony live. That's what it's going to be. This is the actual YouTube page. We haven't done much as far as putting a picture up yet or anything, but it it's the at symbol Thomas and Tony live, and we will put it up again as soon as we can get YouTube to accept our channel, because it takes about 12 hours for them to do it. Then we will put a thumbnail up. We're not really sure what we're going to do, but it's Tony and I both have combined about 60 years of law enforcement, and we're going to talk
Uh-uh.
about ongoing cases. We're going to talk about everything you can imagine. We'll talk about UFOs. We'll talk about some of our experiences with UFOs and Bigfoot and strange things around the United States, all the way to ongoing cases, missing people. It will have a whole line of stuff that we will talk about
From a Christian
from
perspective.
from a Christian perspective, and some of just general stuff like the Skinwalker Ranch. In fact, I'm gonna try, no promises, but I'm Travis Taylor, the PhD out of Skinwalker. I've talked to him before, and he's from my hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, and works out for NASA out there. And we're hoping that maybe as the channel gets progressing and we get some followers, we can maybe get him online with us. That would be super awesome. And I've even um, I think I've even spoke to him in person once, but he's from my area, so it probably wouldn't be hard to get in touch with him. I know a bunch of people that work for NASA and are in that same little group that he is. But we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Anything, if you got some ideas of things you'd like for us to talk about, cases we'll look at. It doesn't matter how strange it is or anything. We're going to talk about. He wants to discuss yoga and how he feels about yoga and how I feel about it. And we're going to talk about I'm sorry for all the buffing there. That's the longest it's ever buffed with this Starlink. But what we're saying is we're going to look at it. There's a lot of stuff like yoga in general that I do not agree with him on. We do not agree with a lot of stuff, and we'll discuss it. And we're going to want y'all to have some interaction with us, and maybe even we could even do a live over the telephone type interview with some people, or maybe somebody, one of you that would like to come on with us on your computer and ask some questions with us, have some interaction with us. We're just not sure what we're going to do, but we want, Tony wants to do it, so we're going to try to make it happen. And we'll be putting it out. I'm sorry about Gracie. She's been awful coughing here lately. I think she's getting worse instead of better.
Maureen Julie McGrath wants to know, was the arrest for Summer?
No, not that I know of. I haven't heard anything on that. The arrest, we'll get into that in just a minute. I wanted to bring out a couple of things we discussed on Tuesday. This is a Lehigh student missing, a student, Daniel Lee. He has been missing since January the 20th. And the police say there's no foul play involved. I don't know how they can say that because they have zero evidence of where he's at. So I'm not sure how they could say that. He was an engineering student and he has been missing, and they have been looking for him, and they have no leads the way I understand it. 19-year-old Lee, a second year engineering student, has been missing since January the 20th. He was last seen, and it tells about the police, and from his Bethlehem, I guess it's Bethlehem, and Lee's hometown of East Hanover, New Jersey, uh, is, and it's this uncertainty and the difficult for us, Lehigh community, especially Daniel's family, and so they're not sure what happened to him, or why he's missing, but I do not see how they can come and say that there's no foul play involved in this. Um, they do say though that there's concern of that there's self harm may be involved, but foul play is not suspected.
You
See,
know,
I
I
don't
was
understand
wondering,
how that.
being a grad student and all, just
Just the
to
stress
stress,
of it.
yeah,
I mean,
just the stress.
but you got to think of this too. If he's grad student, if that way, I don't think so. Well, this is the major one that we wanted to talk about tonight. Um, it is the most wanted fugitive. This guy and girl had just came up on the U.S. Marshals top 15 wanted list of fugitives in the United States. And when they put you up there, they concentrate hard on getting you, uh, capturing you. 5 children missing from Washington State were found and rescued by authorities that took their parents into custody in Mexico. U.S. officials said Friday the parents identified as Edgar Salvador Castine Garcia, 34, and his girlfriend, Acelisa Medina, 38, became first fugitive couple to appear on the U.S. Marshal Service most 15 most wanted since late February, after about 2 years on the run. So they had been on the run 2 years before they placed them on the U.S. Marshals list. But these are very bad people. A couple is now facing charges of the murder of a child, as well as multiple counts of child sexual abuse. The
God.
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children announced after their arrest the pair will remain in custody of Mexican authorities while they wait extradition back to Washington.
I
According
say
to
let
the
Mexico
agency,
keep them.
the 5 children were found and rescued have been returned to the U.S. and placed in protective custody. We are so thankful that all 5 missing children have been rescued safely. John is that Bishop, who oversees the Missing Children Division of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, in a statement by the agency. The crimes committed by these 2 scumbags were charged with horrendous contempt, unwavering dedication by law enforcement. Bischoff said that this successful rescue is a testament to the critical importance of cooperation with the community involved in safeguards the most vulnerable population. And these people, even though most of these were their kids, that is the issue.
Okay, Beach Bum says, yeah, but what about the young boys? So they went to Mexico instead of India.
Well, no, this is not the same people the way I understand it.
Oh, okay.
The one in India was a native. This was not, if the way I understand it, this is not the same people as the Mexican people. Let me go back and make sure, but I don't think so, because you met the other day was these people hadn't been on the run. The other people have not been on the run for 2 years. These people have been on the run for 2 years before they went to on the 15. The You remember too, the other guy was a native of India, and he went through Turkey, and they knew he went through Turkey because he crossed the Turkey border. This was actually a resident of Mexico. He was, and I don't think they're the same people. Who's in connection various child abuse offenses, including suspected sex trafficking and the murder of a child in Washington State, set off an international manhunt in 2021, allegedly fled to Mexico, according to the U.S. Marshals Service. I need to check on that in a few
Well,
minutes.
BC says the other couple was out of Texas.
Yeah,
They're two
that's right.
different cases.
It's odd that there's 2 different cases
With
like
5
that with
kids.
5 kids, and these people they were involved in all kinds of sex trafficking too. Um, Said authorities began to investigate the 2, and I'm going to call them scumbags instead of their names because I can't hardly pronounce them, after they discovered 2 abandoned girls, later identified as their biological daughters, 8 and 3 years old, at a gas station in Tijuana in late 2020. The children allegedly showed signs of severe physical and sexual abuse. The Marshal Service said, and they were taken into protective custody in Mexico as the investigation eventually got underway in Washington, D.C. Man, these are scumbags. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. Police said that the 2 low-lifes took their 4 biological children
his 4
4 biological children, an infant that they shared together with them when they fled to Mexico in 2021. At the time, their 7-year-old Edgar Jr. was missing, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Although the couple initially told investigators prior to fleeing the country that their child was staying with relatives in California. According to earlier this year, they found human remains near the home in Washington that they later identified belonging to the Edgar Jr. So that 7-year-old was found, the human remains was found on him, that to be him. The Eastern Washington branch of the U.S. Marshals previously offered a $25,000 per person reward to anyone who could offer information leading to the arrest of the 2 lowlifes. They face charges for aggravated murder in the first degree, 4 counts of rape of a child in the first degree, and 3 counts of assault of a child in the first degree. Man, these are low life individuals. I believe death penalty is too good for these people. I'm telling you.
I say leave them in prison down in Mexico because I understand they don't treat their prisoners like we do.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just you think about this. These kids they'll never be right.
Mm-mm.
They'll never be right because they've been
Well,
physically and emotionally abused.
not that they won't be right. They're gonna have scars and they're gonna deal with it. But Tommy, we know for a fact that with Jesus, all things are possible.
Right, but I'm telling you, these kids, you know as well as I do that some of these kids have been abused that long, they're going to have problems. And even, I mean, they say this, and psychologically speaking, that most kids that abuse is a part of an abusive relationship and turn out to be abusive parents. That's what they say.
But
I'm not talking about sexual abuse. I'm talking about physical abuse. That's what they say. And this, we're gonna. Let me play this for
New
you.
tonight, a Washington couple accused of murdering their son and torturing two of their daughters has been arrested in Mexico. Arceli Medina and Edgar Salvador Casian Garcia from Pasco are on the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list. This case started 2 years ago when investigators say two young girls were found abandoned in Tijuana, Mexico. One girl told police she'd been tortured and raped at her family's home in Washington. Pasco police started investigating and discovered their 7-year-old brother was missing. Officers say the couple then fled to Mexico with their 5 other children. Last year, hikers discovered the missing boys' remains near the Tri-Cities. The couple is now in custody in Mexico and will be extradited to Washington. The other children were found safe.
I don't think Washington be tough enough on them.
Yeah, they are a liberal state. One thing too that I got as I got to reading a lot about this in Washington and everything, there is possibly a serial rapist, kidnapper, even killer in Seattle area. And if you notice, the girl that we featured last week talked about the girl that turned up missing out there in Seattle. You know what I'm talking about? The girl that was walking from one, I think is Rio Boyd. She turned up missing. Well, and it was kind of like just taken. They think it might be it might be an abduction, possibly by this same guy. Listen to this, and I'm gonna play this again for you.
Pierce County deputies are asking for the public's help, finding out what happened to a missing Spanaway woman. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Greg Copeland.
I'm Joyce Taylor. The 21-year-old was walking to a friend's home but never showed up. King 5's Callie Greenberg has the details on her disappearance.
21-year-old Rio Boyd was last seen on October 17th. Her cell phone was found in the area I'm standing in right now near Field Road and Mountain Highway East. Authorities are asking people to check their security cameras in this area, hoping to find some answers. Rio Boyd was believed to be walking to a friend's in Spanaway. However, she never arrived. Suspicion grew after her cell phone was found not far from her home on the side of the road.
With most people nowadays, the second that they lose one of these, their world goes upside down. So a young woman who doesn't have her phone, apparently it's a brand new phone, that's a little odd.
It's been 10 days since her disappearance, and the Pierce County Sheriff's Department is still searching for answers about what happened. Thursday, the department shared this map and put out a call for any security footage.
If you live or work in that area and you have access to cameras, check your cameras between the 17th at 4 p.m. and the 19th of October at 4 p.m.
The department thinks a camera may have captured Rio and hopes it can address the questions surrounding her disappearance.
We want to know, was Rio Boyd outside? Was she the person that dropped her phone in the field there? Was she with anybody else? Did she get in a vehicle? You know, what happened that night or in between that time frame that her phone ended up in that field?
Sergeant Moss pointed out that every week the Sheriff's Department gets a few calls about missing people. He said that Rio is an adult and right now they have no indication that she is in danger, but that is part of the reason why they want people to check their cameras to look for any suspicious activity. In Spanaway, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.
And I'm going to tell you the reason why I think it may have something to do with this guy. Let me show you this real quick. And I'm going to show you another. I thought I had another video here that it's just strange.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Department released a sketch of a suspect in an attempted kidnapping in Roy. He may have scratches on his face and neck. Detectives believe he tried to abduct a woman Thursday morning. She stopped her car to move sandbags in a box, blocking 420th Street at Harts Valley Lake Road East. The woman says someone came up behind her, put a burlap bag over her head, and bear hugged her. Well, that woman broke free and then yelled to her son to call 911. The suspect escaped through a field, and the search continues for him tonight.
Now you think about that. They've had this attempted abduction by this guy out there. So he put some boxes in the road. He put some stuff in there. She went out to move the boxes. And if it'd been me, I'm telling you, if you can drive over that kind of stuff, maybe not the box in the middle of the road, but drive around it.
Yeah.
No matter if there's something else, drive over it. Don't ever get out of the car to try to move anything out of the way unless you got somebody with you, a man or something to do it for you. And I'm not saying that you can't handle yourself, but just like her, it could have been a lot worse. He could have knocked her upside the head. He could have put a gun to her, a knife to her. Anything could have happened. Now, you think about that. This other girl, Rio, she was walking down the side of the road. He could have very well been a crime of opportunity, just like this one here. Somebody is out there roaming around looking for women. And something that I've noticed too,
State troopers asking for help looking for a missing woman. This is Crystal Renee Runninghawk, and troopers say she was last seen on Monday around 6:30 on State Route 305 near the Port Madison Indian Reservation. They say that she was crying loudly for help and barefoot at the time. She got into a late 90s green Dodge Ram truck with a bald man with a mustache. If you've seen a truck like this with that plate number that you see there or have any information that could help troopers find Crystal, call 911.
Well, they got his tag number at least. I think they'll probably narrow that down. But you know, you got it was amazing of how many indigenous women were missing around the Seattle area too. And you got a guy out there stopping and trying to abduct women. You got women missing. Wait a
minute. Let me tell you. Remember we've always heard that there's at least 25 serial killers.
Well, there's more than that. I read a thing where it said there may be as many as 300 serial killers, but around 30 serial killers
in America.
I think the FBI says at any time there may be 30 serial killers in America around, operating in America. I got a couple other videos here that's going to explain some of this.
A number of Native American women are victims of violence in Washington, and there's a new report that sheds light on how many go missing. The Washington State Patrol says 56 women from tribes are currently unaccounted for in the state. 12 of them are from King County alone. In all, the National Crime Information Center lists more than 1,800 people missing statewide. And the report found Native women face challenges when it comes to their safety, and that it is important that law enforcement build relationships among Native American people and establish trust.
All right, still ahead,
And 1,800 people missing in Washington. 1,800. That's a lot of people missing.
Beach Bum says, people, if someone's screaming for help, put her in the car and call 911.
Put her in the car, 911, mash the gas, get out of there. Because you don't know if you're dealing with a domestic. And then if there's the domestic right there, get out of there right then.
Because you're going to be the bad guy.
They're going to they may kill both of you. Get out of there. Go to the nearest police precinct or police department or somewhere there's a lot of people around. A fire department, and when you pull up into the parking lot, mash your horn loudly until somebody comes out to help you. Fire department, police department would be number one and number two, but any place there's a lot of people around. Of course, a lot of people around
and
may not be doing anything.
If a woman does that or a child does that to you, that means they need help.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if a lot of people.
Honey, they do know
the
it.
tragic and continuing loss of mothers, aunts, sisters, and friends has forced many Indigenous women to come up with their own protections. The Native American women we spoke to call it the plan, and they share it with their loved ones.
They would need to make sure that somebody looked for us. For my children, they know that my handprints are on the dresses. They know that they would be able to take my fingerprints to the police.
According to Abigail Uckelhawk with the Seattle Indian Health Board, Indigenous women in Washington are 4 times more likely to go missing than white women. Currently, state records show there are 126 missing Indigenous people in Washington.
Having a plan is part of the hopelessness that's experienced by our communities.
Coming up tonight, we look into why this epidemic has continued for so long and what you can do to help. For Facing Race, I'm PJ Randhawa.
You know, and Dana says she just saw something on TikTok where somebody doing that sign that
Yeah,
that is
well, there was a
like
girl, a
this or like
16-year-old
that.
that was driving, that was in a car being driven by her abductor, and she motioned to people driving by that, and somebody knew the sign.
Somebody knew the sign. Well, one thing too, you know, and you remember years ago, they used to, and I think they occasionally do it now, is you can take your child by the police department, and sometimes the police department have it inside malls, and they'll fingerprint your children, and they'll give you the fingerprint card. Now, I wouldn't suggest you go by anywhere and have your kids fingerprinted and then let them keep the fingerprints. I'm not for that. That's big government and all that kind of stuff, and don't start me down that rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is, I think that you could get your finger, and it would not hurt for the whole family to get their fingerprints done and keep a copy at your house. Keep the only copy at your house, because you know, I mean, unfortunately, I have been fingerprinted probably 30 times.
If he'd quit getting arrested, we wouldn't have this problem.
No, but I had in police work, any police, like I've been employed by 1, 2, 3, 4 police departments, and they fingerprint you every single time, and at the police department, and your fingerprints have been sent off to Washington and all that stuff. And then when we adopted our children, we had to get fingerprinted. And then when I had gun permits, I had to get fingerprinted. And then when we even got a passport, I think we had to get fingerprinted. So I mean, I've been fingerprinted a whole lot. And now they actually don't do most police departments now do not use the old ink method. They have a computer screen there. It's green in color. At least the one we had was, and you do your fingerprints on a glass, and it's called APHIS, and it goes directly to Washington. Like, they can find that if you're wanted within anywhere between 10 minutes to about 3 or 4 hours, and depends on, you know, if you had a name, it's Smith or something like that. But
Green.
yeah, so you know, but I think everybody probably should get their fingerprints. If you don't have it, get your fingerprints and keep them yourself in your filing cabinet, your kids and you, because if God forbid that your children or your spouse goes missing and say they never had their fingerprints taken. There's a lot of people out there that have never had their prints taken. They've never worked in a job that required them have security clearance. They've never worked in a job that required fingerprints. They've never been arrested. They never applied for a passport. So they could go missing, and really, that's a big time way to find out. I mean, I've heard of people, women and children that have been missing, that they tell their captors they want to go to the restroom. When they go into the restroom, they put their fingerprint right on the middle of the glass and write something in soap, help me. And some, you know, police get out there, they take their fingerprint out, and they can know within minutes really who that is. They've got a new system even out that they are police are using in some cities, where you can take your say you stop somebody and you for whatever reason, you think there's a wanted, they're wanting for something, but you can't get a hold of maybe the department to verify anything. You can actually take their thumb and put it in a thing, and it will tell who that person is from their thumbprint, and from that. So that's been tried out. I know there's a lot of Fourth Amendment issues with that, of unreasonable search and all that. But when you get a driver's license, you agree to do a lot of stuff. You agree that the Supreme Court says that police can ask you to step from the car. They can ask you to prove that you have a license, that you have the right insurance registration for the car, that you do certain tests, and there's a whole lot of stuff while you're in a motor vehicle that the police can ask you to do, or if they have suspicions that you're up to a crime or doing something nefarious. So there's a lot of things there, but that is something that they are doing now, where they can actually take your print on the side of the road, and within a few minutes pretty much tell who you are or if you've ever been arrested. So and I'm not saying, that that's a good thing or not. I'm just saying that's what's going on. But it would help if your child was missing, or if your wife or husband was missing, if you had fingerprints on them. And because if you hope not that their body's been found, but at least if it is,
Wouldn't it
they
help to have
can,
some DNA too?
huh? Well, I guess so. There's talk. There's people they're talking. When you're born, they take your foot on your birth certificate, and they'll put your print of your foot on most of the birth certificates, have a footprint on them. They're talking about maybe even taking some DNA of a child when he's born and put it in CODIS, where that's the major DNA database that pretty much, if anybody does any crime where DNA's left, then you would know pretty much right away who that person is. And right now, they take DNA for all felonies. If you're arrested for a felony or certain types of crimes, they'll take a DNA swab of the inside of your mouth and send it off to CODIS. When they do that, you become a part of CODIS. At least they know who you are. So it's more, fingerprints. Everybody's got used to fingerprints. Oh, well, you can get fingerprints, no big deal. But they haven't got used to DNA yet, and DNA is primarily that. It's cleared more people, I think, than convicted in a lot of states. If you have, of course, rapists have been convicted, but there's been a lot of people let out of prison because their DNA just did not match. So, it's a double-edged sword either way you look at it. But I believe that, and I read on some of the forums about this girl Rio. I was reading more because I was hoping that she had returned. Now, on some of the Facebook forums, which I take this with a grain of salt, they say she might have been a drug addict, and that it was somebody made the insertion, which I'm not making this, don't get me wrong. They say, well, maybe one of the parents, the mother or whatever, had basically took her against her will and put her in rehab. I don't think that is the case in this situation. And there's no evidence that she was using meth. I mean, if you look at this, and I'm not saying this is 100% true, but her size tells me, her weight and her size is totally goes against what the typical person that is addicted to methamphetamine looks like. I mean, meth will make you lose weight, rot your teeth out where you can't eat. It's just it's not to say it's always like that, but I have very rarely in my 20 something years of working narcotics, very rarely seen an overweight meth addict. That's just what, and I don't see that. I mean, she's 21. If she wanted to, go somewhere and do something with drugs, she very well could have done it. There's no evidence of that. No evidence that I've seen. It may turn out to be that, but it's no evidence. It's just somebody on Facebook making a statement like that. I don't know where they get their information, but I do think it's weird. You have she was missing from this part of it's an outskirts area of Seattle. You got this other one attempted abduction of this lady on the outskirts area of Seattle, not far from where this girl had been missing, to what I've seen. And there were some references made on some of these Facebook posts about this, that that it is kind of strange that she was missing out of the blue. And I get the feeling that by her phone being tossed, that it wasn't voluntary.
Yeah.
It that just tells me that even if you're going to voluntarily to jump in the car, you're not going to throw your phone. And plus, she's 21. She doesn't have to have an excuse to go missing. She can go missing on her own just because she wants to. And was like we talked about, there's not against the law to go miss, period. It's not against the law. It's just against the law to, to, I guess, people can get in trouble if they make their self waste police time by doing something. If they just know somebody, well, I'm still saying, if I wanted to go missing tomorrow and I walk out tonight and just don't leave everything here and disappear, then really there's nothing other than the fact that unless I would be avoiding my responsibilities to my wife and money and wise.
Okay, guys, y'all heard him say that. So if he doesn't show up next Thursday night, I didn't kill him.
But what I'm saying is, if you owe somebody money and you're responsible for it and you disappear, then really you're maybe, you could fall into some type of criminal thing. I know that where the FBI gets you on wire fraud and stuff like that is if they maybe fake their own death and they travel over I'm sorry for the buffing. The letter crosses over state lines or through the U.S. mail, then could be, say, wire fraud. You're trying to fake your own death some way. That is a federal offense. But I don't think she disappeared on her own from the cell phone. That's just my opinion. And this other one, somebody. Okay, my StreamYard just went boom out, so I don't know what the problem. I hope that we can get it. When Sleuth Mom had covered her might have arrested a man for kidnapping and assaulted another woman. I haven't seen if he was released since. I I didn't see anything that said anything about somebody being arrested or for her kidnapping. I've looked, but it is very strange that you got all these missing women up there around Seattle, and 1,802 missing in the state. But it's just like that little kid, the Wells kid, and all the others that Summer Wells. I mean, I've always said that I believe that Summer Wells was taken. Um, I don't believe that she just wandered off in the middle of the woods. I just do not believe it. Way too much stuff. Um, you know what I mean? Way too much stuff going on with that. We can talk about the Summer Wells case if you want to sometime. I'd love to do it on Tony and ours channel. That I'm fixing to tell y'all about. I mentioned this at the first of the program. Tony and I have started a channel. It will be on next Thursday. We've had some issues with it getting accepted by YouTube because of the way we want to do it. It's going to be Thomas and Tony live. We're going to discuss everything from cases to police work to crazy stuff, Bigfoot, UFOs, everything. We're nothing's going to be off limits besides stuff that there'll be some stuff off limits as far as we feel like that is not appropriate to be shared. um you know how it is, but we're gonna go over some stuff. I'm gonna show you again the website here. That this would be what our channel. See, we haven't uploaded anything, but you look in the left hand top corner, you'll see basically how that we will be able to get in contact with us. And when we get it all set up, we're going to put the address and the community page, and we hope we can get as many subscribers as, if all of you will subscribe, that would be great. Now, I want to say this. I want to Beach Bum, T.S. Jackson, if you want to become, you've done great with us in the past on moderators. If you want to become moderators again with us, I would really appreciate it. If you would, when we get started on this, I'll try to make one of you or both of you right away moderators, and you can help us because I'm sure we'll have a lot of porn sites that try to immediately try to come on. I put in, we got little boxes over there on our systems, and our that we have to put all these words that we want to block, but occasionally you get some through. And we're just asking, any trolls, anybody that you feel like is not healthy for the channel, you have my permission to block them. Now, if somebody gets their feelings hurt, we'll go to, they can email me and tell me why they said what they did, and maybe, we'll talk and they may come back. But I don't believe I've ever went against any one of my moderators on anybody, because I don't want somebody that's gonna come in here and try to start problems with something that we're just trying to make fun. And so we're going to try to make it at 8:05 next Thursday will be the first one we do. We're going to put it in the community page of this this channel, what our how to get there. And I believe what I put is the way it says it at the top of the page, but you would need to it told me it was 23 hours and 30 something minutes on before I could basically do anything on the channel. I don't know, as far as live stream. So I'm sure I could put a video up there, but I didn't. But we will hopefully everything will work out, but give us about 24 hours more before you try to find us. Hey Herbie, how are you, buddy? Good to see you on here. Are y'all still in Florida? That's what I wanted to ask you. Are y'all still in Florida? We really hate that we were not able to get down there. We've had some issues with my wife's father, still dealing with some health issues, so we're kind of hanging around here until we find out what's going on with him. And what we plan on doing as far as the RV goes, we plan on Dina's going to Atlanta for a cousin's thing the end of the month. I'm gonna be staying, don't know where yet. And then when she gets back, we're going to Nashville to see our son, and from then back up to Milwaukee, see our daughter, and then we're going out west, either Glacier or Yellowstone or down through. I've never been to Nebraska and Kansas area. Depends on the weather too. It's tornado season, so I don't want to go Tornado Alley, but we are going to go down that way. We would love to run into y'all, see y'all somewhere on the way, either before we go or wherever. We want to try to make that happen. Okay, well, we hope to see y'all next week, and right after that one, we hope to see you on the channel with Tony. And I don't know yet what we're going to talk about, to be honest with you. And but we will work it out. And last week it was trying to do it last week. It just didn't work out, and the name he had for it, even though it was a great name, there's about 150 other channels same name, and that's why it was so hard to find. I couldn't even find it. So but I put everything together this time. I think we're going to be okay. Has anybody else got anything that they want to bring up? Other than that, we've been hanging here in Tennessee currently at the farm, and what was I going to say? And we have been, weather has been stormy and rainy, but fortunately we haven't had any tornadoes. Yeah, Herbie, it was total messed up, but we're changing the name And we hopefully, they said it would be up in about 24 to 48 hours. And they have got this listed on the top page. And hopefully it will be the right name. Hopefully. I can't tell. I tell you, I've been trying to really boost our other channel, the RV channel. I would super appreciate if you would subscribe to our RV channel if you're not already subscribed. I don't know if this at symbol or whatever, but yeah, go over to Red Jaguar Travels 100 Travels and subscribe to his channel. And if you could go over and subscribe to ours, the 1 million mile road trip, we are trying to boost it. I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing we've got. And this was the old way to find it, but I think they're doing the new way is just the @ symbol at the 1 million mile road trip. The problem I've seen with these is we got, I think, 1,400 subscribers now, but the watch time is like under 2,000 hours watch time. So until you get 4,000 hours watch time, you're just giving YouTube free advertisement. That's all you're doing. I'm not making 1 cent off of any of the advertisement. One of my videos, just one of the videos, I was told by TubeBuddy that they had put over 239,000 advertisement clicks on it. 239,000 on that one video. So what I'm saying is it's not fair to me because I don't have the watch time. So if you don't have Herbie, I don't know where you are on your subs or watch time, but if please go over, share these channels, watch if you go to watch a video, the shorts don't count. None of that channel time. You watch the shorts. They're great. We appreciate you watching them. We have gained 200. If Herbie, I was going to tell you, if you're not doing shorts, start them. We've gained about 200 subscribers on nothing but shorts, which is awesome. But if you're not watching our whole long form video, the 15-minute long, even if you start it and put it on your computer and letting it run, that is where we make our time to get the watch hours, and is our long form videos. And most of mine run about 15 minutes. And I told my cousin the other day, she said, well, I don't like watching a 15-minute video. And I said, well, don't watch it. Just turn it on, set it on your nightstand, and let it run. And I'm not telling you anything more than what YouTube will tell you. Anyway, I'm going to go now. This is running into it. A lot of people said that, I don't know for whatever time, but if you don't have watch time, they don't make money off of you. They just, yeah, you're right. They just make money. And I love YouTube. Don't get me wrong. I love YouTube and they do us right. But we put out a lot of shorts. We put a bunch of shorts. And I'm sorry, but this, I don't know why this thing's is Starlink buffing like this. I've gained 15 to 20 subscribers off of one short, and I love that. But we don't get any of the time that we gain. So please watch our whole form videos, and or anybody else that you're watching. Herbie, go watch his whole videos because it helps us to get that 4,000 hours on this channel right here. Y'all did it in 2 days. 2 days. I had like 800 subscribers. I had somebody, I don't remember who it was now, but they said, let's get him his subscribers. And within 2 days, I was up 1,800 subscribers in 2 days. But where it is, you're on here an hour at a time. It's easy to get your watch hours here. I mean, I've got like, I don't know, 20,000 watch hours on this channel. We're running around 5,700, I think, subscribers. We're wanting to be 10,000 subscribers on this channel before the end of the year. That's my goal. 10,000 on this channel. I believe we can do it. We're gaining subscribers on this channel, but the other channel, it's just, we are gaining subscribers, but the watch hours are not there. But what I believe is going to happen is on our 1 million mile road trip, as we get over about 2,500 to 3,000 subscribers, the time will come. The people will watch, and then I'll go over and watch Herbie and watch his stuff. That's the way you do it. And we'd appreciate it if you would watch us. And yeah, go over as soon as we can and subscribe to this other channel that me and Tony are going to be doing. We're excited for it. And because it will run right after this one, it won't be, I just can't put another day out there because we just got so much stuff going on. I'm already editing. The other channel takes about a day to edit. I am going to try to do some more different type of editing. I don't believe, I'll be honest with you, I think I'm a horrible videographer on the 1 million mile road trip, and I'm not wanting you to tell me that I'm not. I believe I am. I'm a horrible storyteller. That's why I don't believe I have the views that I need to be getting. I'm a horrible storyteller. So I'm trying to get to be a better storyteller. I'm trying to get to be a better, telling you what. In fact, I think Medina's even going to start doing some of the videos on the long form videos on our RV channel, and all I'm going to do is edit them. And hopefully that'll bring us some in there. I don't know, TS. I don't get that feeling. We're just not getting the views that we should. And it's really disheartening. It is, but I know YouTube is not a race, it's a marathon. And I know that it's a long, it's a long thing. But I'm gonna tell you, and you may be surprised. We have 564 videos and counting shorts on our other channel. 564. That's why I know something is not right. What we could do better. 564. That's a lot for not to have the amount of watch time that we get for a video. It's a whole lot. So that's the only thing I can do. And there's tons of people you can pay. You can spend thousands of dollars for people to tell you how to do this and how to do that. You can buy views. I'm not buying views. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I don't have the money to do, you know what I mean? I don't have the money to put into paying somebody to help me get views. It's just not going to do it. I don't know. Maybe I dye my hair yellow or orange or something. Maybe that'll do it. I don't know. Okay, listen, we're going to go tonight. God bless all of y'all. We love you. And hopefully everything will be ready for us to do that next week. And if you need anything, give me a holler on the either one of our emails, the 1 million mile road trip at gmail.com or the missing live at gmail.com, or on in the comments. I try to at least put a heart or an answer under most of our comments on every page. Sometimes I don't get a lot here because I tend to switch over to another channel, but we do the absolute best we can. We do read them. Okay, we do read all your comments. All right, well, God bless y'all, and we will hope to see you next time. And anything comes up, give me a shout. Y'all take care. Good night.